I need to be sponsored by some water company at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll sling some cases. You'll see this on the episode every week if you want. You know what I'm saying?
And listen, Life Water, if you don't sponsor us, I'm putting out a threat here.
Oh my
see
God.
Aquafina? You see this? I've got this in the studio. We could switch over instant. You wouldn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
But you see, I was drinking mine. I'll go back to it. But you got to hit us up, or else slowly the water's gonna start changing out.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
We'll try any brand, and hey, if it's not Life Water, and let's say you're Fiji water, or you're like personally, unless it was a really good deal, I wouldn't want to be sponsored by Aquafina.
You don't like Aquafina?
Or Dasani?
Is it that they don't have the... They don't actually have ingredients on here.
Here, just put that bottle up next to this one.
Yeah.
Like this?
I guess it's... Well, it fools you because that's thinner, that's fatter.
Oh, it's not about quantity for me. It's just this doesn't make me feel good when I pick it up. And it's a lot about branding, but listen, if you have a cool water company, or hey, I think the best one would be Just Water. Hey.
How's it going?
You're looking better.
I feel better.
You do?
Like, yeah. I feel it in my body and my soul right now.
Oh, wow.
I feel clear.
I just think everyone could see you better at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a purity and a divine quality to it. So I would definitely like to say, just get right into it. Speaking of divine quality, we really appreciate our sponsors here.
Of course.
And something that you can't live without.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Life Water.
Oh, never mind. I do have mine. I was gonna say
you got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't like my water again, but I've got it. So
we probably would have fast forwarded in the last episode. We'll see, but we're gonna do the challenge again because we felt so good after doing it. So
the camera feels better too. That's why it's so the quality is so better.
So if any of you guys at home have a camera that's not working very well, pour 33.8 ounces on it, and it will. I mean, look what happened to him.
Yeah, I feel better.
Look at this versus this.
I'm feeling so good.
Okay,
I'm feeling so good.
And in between there, we're gonna cut to episode 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the challenge.
All right. Here we go. Salud.
Cheers, everybody. And hey, do this at home if you got 33.8 ounces. See if you could beat us. All right.
Well, I'm so bad at this. Oh. Okay, I'm going in.
Hold on. Let's see. I think you're drinking at a pretty fast rate.
Oh, maybe that's my problem.
I think at the beginning you really just start to try to chug it.
Yeah.
We're doing this for minutes, dude. You really gotta pace yourself.
Yeah, I do.
My arm got tired. I had to switch arms.
Yeah, to switch arms. I was doing that too. Oh, God. I feel like a fish. Oh.
One thing's for sure, we're both being pretty efficient with our consumption right now.
Oh, man.
All right.
That always, it feels good later. But when you immediately are finished, it ain't feel so good. You just feel like, oh.
And we're gonna make a T-shirt that says what the quote you just had.
Please warn the people.
Later on, it feels good, but when you just did it, it feels like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a cool T-shirt design.
It's like when you eat like a McDonald's.
Yeah.
You're eating a McDonald's and you feel shit afterwards, and then you feel shit later. This is like, you don't feel shit afterwards, but you feel uncomfortable afterwards.
It's kind of like the reverse of McDonald's, actually.
Yeah, it really is.
At first, it tastes really good, and then you spend a lot of time on the toilet. You will spend time near a toilet, but not quite as much.
You won't be sitting down if you're a man. You'll be standing up. If you're a woman, you'll still be sitting down, but it just won't be the same process.
Yeah, there's some women that choose to stand up to pee.
Really? I didn't know this.
They kind of have to do like a little some pinching thing.
To create a stream.
Create a channel for it to come out of. My God. Yeah, that water's good. Let me just finish the plug here. Life Water. Purified water. pH balanced. Electrolytes added for taste. Get yours today at any supermarket or buy it off of our website. It's good.
Here, I'm gonna do I'll do a last drinking taste with this bit just to get the promo right.
Okay. Yeah, that was good, man. That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's just pure talent. I mean, well, it is and it isn't, because you don't have to pretend. It's not like acting. It's just real life.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real good. What do we got going on today? I mean, we're in the midst of these episodes, and I think we're getting better at it. I think if we just put out the first episode, even though that you're going to be hearing about this like a month later, but when we're filming this, we just put out the first episode, and it's kind of interesting because it doesn't necessarily reflect how all the episodes go. And so I kind of I'm not really sure how to promote that because it's not necessarily the same as all the other episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
It's funny. It's, we just like go around and there's different kind of moods and different feelings that we go through. So we're just displaying that here for everyone to see. And surprisingly, I'm still thirsty.
How are you still thirsty? I feel like I've just, like a tsunami has just come through my body. Is this what fish feel like all the time? I don't know.
Oh man, you just got molested by a tsunami, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A tsunami just came inside of me. Is that what you said?
I didn't mean like came inside of me like that. I mean like just went through. Just a tsunami went through me.
I mean, if a tsunami came inside you, that'd be instant death.
That probably would be. That would be
that'd
it.
be instant death. Yeah, so I kind of want to do a display here, but they'll be we'll have to take a break here to fully display this.
What are we?
And we're back. Thanks so much. And listen, don't try this at home.
No, don't.
Don't try this at work, and don't try this if somehow you're listening to this and you're, in the third trimester and you're kind of, still in in that baby maker, that old, and that mom. Let me say this. If you are not even born yet, please do not try this.
Especially not what he's doing. I mean, me. That second bottle, I think that'd be it for me. I can't. Couldn't do that.
That'd be murder.
That'd be murder.
Yeah, I didn't hit my usual allotment before we came in here. So here we go.
You know what? Here, I got a little bit left in here, so I can.
Wait, how'd you get more? I thought you just.
No, I didn't even finish it when I did that commercial. I just did a little sip.
I got distracted because the performance was so great.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Here we go.
Okay.
Round two.
Round two. I'm proud of myself.
Do you see Finding Nemo?
I see Finding Nemo. I saw the first one, and the second one wasn't that like I think I saw that one too. That was where that was like Dory's movie, right? Or was supposed to be. I think.
Yeah, Finding Dory.
Finding Dory, right? That's right. That's right.
That's Ellen. Is Dory?
Ellen is Dory. I ended up.
You know who Ellen is?
Yeah, I know who Ellen is.
Oh, nice.
That's right. She is Dory, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. So you got to tell yourself when you're doing this.
I feel like if I was swimming, I'd drown. If I was doing that.
There's people that swim in the ocean for 12 minutes underwater. Free divers.
Ooh.
It looks pretty magical. Sometimes they see whales.
Huh.
Sometimes they see other sea creatures.
I have a question though. Why don't they just put on like a snorkel?
What?
Like you said, they're free diving.
Yeah,
they're free diving
underwater.
12 minutes
They're
underwater.
Yeah.
Can't they like have like a straw and just?
Oh, that's not free diving.
But couldn't you just do that and then you could stay under for like 30 minutes?
That's just, you're just talking about scuba diving at that point.
Yeah.
That's defeating the whole purpose of free diving.
Is the purpose that you can't breathe?
Yeah, you're pushing the limits of the human body, and you're having a really like deep connection to the experience you're having because there's no apparatus. You're just, and sometimes they're going, 100 feet down.
Oh.
And they're going deep down. But there's also something crazy about holding your breath. So like, maybe we could try this right now. If you hold your breath for like for even 1 minute, like the experience that you're having is so much different than if you're breathing all the time.
Oh, definitely. Have you ever played that game where like you're going under a tunnel? It was a tunnel game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the exact name of it, but when you went under a tunnel, everyone in the car had to stop breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you knew, like, you just know that somebody in the car isn't playing the game and is breathing out of their nose. You just know it. Do you remember that? Like, playing those games and you were like, someone in the car is definitely breathing out of their nose. Someone's doing it.
Yeah, dude, I know what you're saying. Definitely, sometimes I couldn't make it. And for the kids who are breathing through their nose and that they want to get better at this game,
Stop it.
there's some training you can do. Did you know that?
No.
So if you kind of hyperventilate or you have a faster breathing pattern, and then you do a full deep breath, you can hold it for so much longer. And I'm not quite sure on the science. You're either building up an amount of oxygen in your system or you're depleting your body of carbon dioxide. And the amount of carbon dioxide in your system is what triggers your brain to want to breathe. So if you're purging all of that out, then as it's coming back into your system, then you're more likely to be able to hold it for longer. So let's try, once this gets to, well, I have to finish the water challenge, but then once this gets to 17 minutes right here, once we get to 17 minutes on this, we'll just try holding our breath for 1 minute.
Okay.
Everybody try this.
And no nose breathing.
Don't do it for the nose.
Yeah, don't do it.
And just so you guys know at home, we'll have to wait an extra few minutes here, seconds. Just for you, so you know at home, the cut we made was only for me to fill up my water bottle. It wasn't, hours didn't go by.
Yeah. Should we plug our noses for this? Like, what's the plan here?
I think the mic would pick up if you just put the mic up next to your nose.
Yeah. So you can hear.
I'm just gonna do the hyperventilating for a second, and then we'll do it. Okay. So once this gets to 45.
Okay. What's the strategy here? Do you
try to get some of the air into your stomach?
There's too much water in there. I can't do it.
5, 2, go. Try to hold it.
I did not get a good breath in there. That laughing. Oh, that did not start me off well. Oh, no.
Wow. But that's what I'm saying, Tim's chips, fuck you. I mean,
damn, you've already beat up Tim enough.
I know.
He's had a rough
but this is what I'm
few
saying.
weeks.
The experience of life, with or without the things we're used to, it changes. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's water, whether it's air, whether it's food. People do fasts. They do all sorts of stuff. And I'm feeling kind of lightheaded right now.
Yeah.
But if you want to go and learn more about these breathing techniques, you can look up Wim Hof breathing techniques. And don't just do the techniques, have them talk about it. And, that's a real interesting guy to go look at. He climbed up Mount Kilimanjaro in a pair of shorts.
Oh, damn.
it's usually it's a snowy kind of, like very close to climbing up Mount Everest.
Yeah. Damn.
So yeah, he's crazy. Sometimes he swims underneath ice. He has the longest record for being submerged in an ice bath.
Whoa.
And he attributes a lot of it to this breathing technique that he does.
I'm gonna go check that out. I think I could use it.
You wanna get in the icy temperatures?
Well, no, I think that, like, the breathing that I was doing there, that just wasn't working. I started laughing, and I couldn't get a good breath in there, and
I know. Did you notice anything different about holding your breath than normal?
I think it was very challenging because at the end I managed to get like a half breath in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't last long. And then while I was holding my breath, I started laughing because I knew that I did it poorly.
Yeah.
The technique wasn't there. And then just the rest of the air that I had saved up just was gone.
So you didn't feel any different?
No.
Yeah, usually there's, for me, in that instance, like, kind of just, I guess it depends on how you usually think, but the thought process of kind of things spinning around kind of slows down because in circumstances where you're not going through the normal habitual thing that you do, and one of the strongest habits that you have is breathing, right? You need it. You do that every day, so it's really ingrained. So sometimes habits are associative, and so one of the habits that's associated with that, breathing and thinking, are so like deeply linked because you're also thinking all the time. So if you are kind of abstaining from doing one of them, then kind of the other one kind of doesn't really know what to do. And habits are used to patterns and associations. So that's what happens to me sometimes. Like, you just stop thinking for a second, and sometimes that's cool.
Yeah. Huh. I'm gonna have to look into that. Kind of like maybe do some breathing practices. Cause
oh yeah, dude, 100%.
I used to do more meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And
what is that?
I mean, I think it's different to everybody, probably, right? For me, it was just breathing in and out, trying not to think about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Some people close their eyes. I know I would usually do that. And it's peaceful. I think it does make a difference, just not worrying about anything, not thinking about anything, and just breathing in and out, taking deep breaths, and really just it feels really healthy.
Oh yeah,
you
for
feel
sure.
calm, and I think it helps reduce stress.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been wanting to get back into that, definitely.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes there's that connotation with meditation because it's culturally it has a connotation, I would say. If it's like, this means that you have to be, from India, basically, or Tibet or whatever. So there's like, you could call it, like what you're talking about, you could call it meditation, you could call it mindfulness, or you could call it brain training, right? And just to have the understanding that when you're saying meditation, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's just like this whole other kind of realm that people can talk about that in. And so kind of to make it accessible sometimes, for me, sometimes calling it other things that could be more accessible kind of make it easier to talk about with more people.
Yeah, I didn't mean like I guess for some people meditation becomes spiritual, right? I never looked at it that way. I kind of looked at it as I'm just calming myself down more so. I wouldn't say I'm like I'm not a religious person, so for me, I don't do things in like a spiritual sort of way. I do things in like, this works because I become calm. It calms me down, or I reduce my stress by doing this. I thought maybe it's yoga is what people call it. Like,
Well, like,
What is it
okay,
that
so yoga
generally-
has like 8 branches and it's super complicated. When people talk about yoga, they're usually talking about one of them, the disciplines, which is like the physical one, and one even subgenre of that is the mental like meditation. And I don't even know what spiritual means, to be honest. And like, who knows if somebody could call themselves spiritual and do what you're talking about in a practical sense. You know, this is what this allots me. It allots me clear thinking, less stress, and all this stuff. One kind of caveat to all that is like, we want to have a positive experience, I believe, and we want to not be stressed out about things that don't matter. And we want to be able to walk into a world of chaos and not be necessarily thrown off by it. We want to be able to walk through the world of chaos with peace and with stability. But just because we're feeling at peace doesn't mean that everything around us is going great.
No,
Like,
definitely not.
Shit is going crazy. And so, like, something that kind of what my intention going around with this is, like, I want to be effective, and I want to for my brain to be functioning at a high level, so I can actually function and do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because there can kind of be a disconnect where people are like, okay, if I'm going in and I'm doing some mindfulness or meditation, I want peace. And so, like, there can be a disconnect where people go and say, okay, I want peace, everything's great, everything's great, everything's going great, and kind of you have this positive kind of affirmations that you're saying. But at the same time, if we're not being objective about what's going on, then we're gonna miss out on an opportunity to participate in kind of the growing and evolving of society. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely do. It's kind of a balancing act, isn't it? You can't go through life just ignoring everything around you, pretending like everything's great when it's not, but you also can't get absorbed with everything that's going on at the same time, right? I definitely think I've started leaning on the getting really absorbed with what's going on around me, right? And
yeah.
kind
So
of
then you need to tread in a different. You need to tread into more of what is going on with me.
definitely, and finding ways to handle like stress, anxiety.
But why? But what does handling them mean? Is that mean like just getting rid of them? Because what are the reasons that you're feeling stress? Why is this happening? Why is this happening, dude? Not like this is happening and I need to get rid of it, but like why are you feeling stressed out?
I mean, many things. I guess some things are so small that I've tucked them back into like. They're things that like you're conscious of, and then there's things that you're not. Right? There's things that you're like, I'm aware that this is stressing me out. I'm aware this is giving me anxiety. Then there's stuff where you're not aware that it's giving you anxiety.
Sure.
And some of those things are more difficult to face, the stuff that I think you don't know are causing you anxiety. Because some of them could be tucked back for a reason. Because you really don't want them on your mind all the time.
Sure.
The bigger ones are easier to face sometimes, the ones that are directly on your mind. Sometimes not, but it's almost like a maze to untangle, it feels like sometimes, because there's a lot of different things going on upstairs, and trying to untangle everything and say, okay, this is what's stressing me out, this is what's making me feel sad at this point, this is what's making me feel anxious right now.
Yeah.
It can be a maze to unwind. I don't think it's impossible, and I think it's not. I'm not trying to make it out to be like an impossible thing to solve, but
Sure.
it can be a mountain to climb.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yes, I hear what you're saying, and if I put on the glasses that you see the world, if you took those off and I put those on, I could see that it would be like a mountain to climb over. Um, like I think that's something that I do well, is I'm able to see. Like, I could see that that'd be a maze or that'd be a mountain or whatever. The main point that I was making was, if you're like, I'm feeling stressful and I need to have this stop, so I'm gonna try doing all this stuff. If we're not kind of figuring out, this stress is not founded on something substantial. If we're not figuring that out, then we are just gonna be going around the cycle until we no longer have the privilege of being alive anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
No,
that's something that
it's not meant to be scary,
no,
dude.
I know it's not meant to be scary, but I've thought about that before. I've thought about that exact thing, where it's like, there's some things where, as humans, we tend to think about the future. We think about possibilities, right? And I think,
well, some humans do.
well, some humans do. Maybe some are
I'd
more
say
present in the
large
moment.
majority. The large majority of people are thinking and predicting about what the future is based on their past experiences.
Yeah, we're imagining a future that perhaps isn't going to happen, but they're imagining it nonetheless, right?
Yeah,
And
sure.
And what you said about
But why are you doing
going
that?
in circle, because
What are you trying to accomplish? What's the point of doing that?
I think you have to train your brain not to focus on worst case scenario.
But what if that was important?
Exactly. It's instinct too. That's the problem.
Okay,
It's a balance between, like, you're trying to predict what could happen that's bad to avoid it. Your brain's trying to rationalize with this, but at the same time, if you focus on it and you dwell on it, it's going to cause you problems. Especially if you're never going to face it, and you're just going to leave it out in the future and just hunker down in a corner. There's in psychology, what's it called? It's called when somebody gets let down enough times, they start developing, like, helpless behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
And there comes a point in psychology where they say the brain can start to just accept the position that they feel like they've been put in.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
they will...
Just conditioning.
Yeah, conditioning. They'll be
100%.
conditioned to feel helpless. And whenever they're worried about something, whenever they think, oh, this could happen, if they're in a situation that they don't like, they huddle in the corner because fighting against it has been painful for them on so many occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure, that happens.
yeah. I'm just putting it out that
Yeah, but it's like this.
it's a complex like field of emotions and
I mean, that's the whole point of being here and being alive, and maybe people who go through that experience and overcome it have the ability to assist people that are in that same position. And I'm not saying that there's no foundation for the reasons we have certain habits and behaviors. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying that like you're saying, it doesn't actually matter what the circumstances are. It only matters the way people have been experiencing circumstances in the past, and then them bringing that forward to the current circumstances. And for that to be something that's constructed inside of somebody's psyche, I don't think that it's reliable. And I mean, there's no other way to experience it besides having your own perceptions and having limiting beliefs about how things work. But the whole foundation of it is, do you know a house of cards? It's literally this pyramid built out of playing cards. and it's this thing that can be easily swept away and collapse, and there's no sturdy foundation on it. So like there are so many more things that are real in this world, and if we realize that if those experiences that we're having aren't things that are currently happening to us, that they were happening, something that happened to us that made us feel this way, then we may be able to not like, if you say face it, then that becomes a conflict. But if you like embrace that and you're able to even let go of it, or just accept what's happening now as something different than has been happening to you, because the only thing that's guaranteed is that things are different. Things are different than what has happened to you previously. Things are different than you expect them to be. All sorts of stuff.
I think that that's a healthy outlook. I wish, like, not to say that it's not easy to do, but it takes practice. You have to have to work at it, because
how do you know what it takes?
Well, because you have to basically come to a point where the things that are unreasonable for you to worry about, whatever that may be, which is already a term that's difficult to define, right? You have to be willing to let them go, and instinctively, and I can't say this is for everybody, but from personal experience, there's this feeling like you have to somehow resolve them, even if you can't resolve them, even if it's something that's a little bit far out. Maybe it's something that feels realistic to you. You feel like you have to resolve them, but sometimes what you have to do is you just have to let them go, right? And sometimes it's like this complete, or it feels like you got to work at it a little bit. Not that that's bad. You have to put in some work. And I guess I'm just recognizing right now that it's not like you just snap your fingers and all of a sudden you transform in one day to somebody who's taking these steps to try to approach life and their outlook in a healthier type of way.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight unless it does. You know what I'm saying? They say Rome wasn't built in a day, but like, why is that the standard? Why are we trying to build Rome out here instead of, build some romance, but in your own head? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had the same drive and we had the same desire to think and feel the way we feel about a significant other with ourselves, imagine how crazy that would be. And I'm not talking about like being self-absorbed, and this is kind of something that I'd like to know more about, is like, what's the difference between being self-absorbed and loving yourself and appreciating all that you're able to do. Because I mean, just the fact that we have the ability and we're capable of, having all of our limbs and stuff, and like we can speak English, and we have the ability to participate in a variety of group functions, and we have some crazy abilities. Some of these people, pioneered space travel and shit, and they probably hated themselves, and that's a strong way of categorizing it. But like, if you're going through your life in your world trapped in your head about things, and you don't like yourself, that's tragic. And I'm just starting to become aware of the things where I do say mean things to myself. And that's not cool, man.
Yeah,
like it
I
just
think
doesn't
everybody,
make it doesn't make any sense at all.
everybody, like, I don't think, you know what, I can't say that for a fact that everyone does that to a certain extent, because maybe there's some guy out there who just constantly is praising himself.
I mean, yeah.
You guys just
woman.
like, I love my.
Yeah. I just wanted to say or woman, but I wanted to be funny. But I get what you're saying.
Can you imagine if God hated himself? He's like, God, what have I done? What have I done creating
That'd be
this?
fucked up, dude. And yeah, dude, we'll be right back with a word from our sponsors. Everybody.
Hey, we love you guys. We love you so.
And we're back. Thanks so much to everybody for sponsoring us. You know, we couldn't not do it without you. Let's just say that. But we want you. We want you, and we want you to want to be here.
Yeah, to want to support us through this show. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful, guys. Thank you.
We want you to support us, but we also want you to be extracting value and to be starting to think about what the fuck is going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like, oh, I just ate a tuna melt. You know what I'm saying? Not like what the fuck's going on, but like, what the fuck is going on?
Look into that tuna melt. What's going on inside of the tuna melt?
Where
That's
was
what
the
I want to
tuna
know.
sourced from?
Is there cheese?
Did you use there should be on a tuna melt. Did
Yes.
you use humane mayonnaise?
Maybe some pickles on there? Are they good pickles?
Yeah, but I'm more saying like what the fuck's going on? Like the earth goes around the sun. You know they teach you that?
Yeah.
The sun. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a big idea.
7-8 billion people. So the earth is spinning, and then it goes around the sun.
Yeah, and then it has the tilted axis.
Yeah, dude.
So it's not even like going straight around. It's like, you know, it's
at an angle, and then all the other planets inside of this galaxy. So it's like, what the fuck is going? And then like when our problem is like when we see somebody that we know at the grocery store, and we're like, oh shit, I gotta walk away. Like what?
I mean, what if you don't?
What are we doing?
What if you don't want to see that person? What if you're like, I really don't want to see Jim today.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the tuna aisle.
Yeah, and Jim, it's not personal, man. You know what is personal?
He took his lawnmower a few weeks back and he never returned it. And now it's like awkward whenever they're like hanging out together.
Yeah, but if we're letting lawnmowers get in the way of, friendship and connection, then we're missing out, and we're,
Well, wait. And he fucked his wife.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it's a little bit more complicated. He took his wife and his lawnmower.
Jim fucked his own wife, and that's a problem? Jim fucked his own wife?
Well, no. He fucked Bob's wife. And Bob is the guy who lent him the lawnmower. Shit. He was meant to return it a week later. He doesn't. Then he comes home and he finds Jim in his house, banging Barbara. Man, and Jim's fucking Barbara.
Jim's inside of Barbara. I hope they don't have a child, because that'd be unfortunate. But at the end of the day, why is Jim borrowing a lawnmower? Does he borrow it every week? What, like, if he has a lawn, he probably should have his own lawnmower.
His broke.
Oh, it broke for that week. Yeah, and that's really unethical. And I really don't understand how things like of that nature make it into a popular culture where that becomes a brag. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like,
I fucked your wife, boy.
Or like, I fucked your mom, man.
No, but I'm seriously, like, that's like kind of like comedy culture maybe, and that was like a while ago. But I'm talking about mainstream like hip hop culture. I I could fuck Barbara, but you could never fuck Tiffany. Like, that's in a rap song. And that's in a rap song from one of the more famous, conscientious and aware rappers who talk about important things. He said that. He said, I could fuck Barbara, you couldn't fuck Tiffany.
Damn.
But with different words, obviously. He said that though. Like,
I don't know why.
One of the ones that people think like, wow, this is profound what this guy is saying. He said that.
Yeah, I have no idea why we took a cultural turn.
I don't think
I mean, maybe it's not a cultural turn.
I think that it like. You gotta use my hands on this one. Okay, so I think that this stuff has been happening, and it was at a really zoomed out view, right?
Yeah.
And so you couldn't really see what was going on, but now we're zooming in and we're getting closer on it, and now we're really, really magnified on what's going on, and it's happening a lot. But like, even go ahead.
You're saying like the now that we know the occurrence happens so often, that it's kind of become normalized, and therefore it can be considered a brag rather than a, what are you doing sleeping with Barbara? Isn't she with Jim?
Yeah, it's just like I don't understand how there's a disconnect between this is clearly an immoral thing. We all agree that this is not a moral thing, but in a certain light that becomes something that somebody, maybe they're not proud of it, but something that makes them superior than somebody else.
Like a confidence booster.
Yeah, but purely the opposite is happening, is because you become inferior when you're doing some, like, it depends on if somebody's like throwing something that could be recycled into the trash can, like that could be debated, right? Because recycling, we're not even doing it. We could at least agree on that, but we wouldn't agree on the recycling. But if we're talking about having sex with Barbara, everybody knows that that's not cool. Everyone,
well,
literally every person, even if you're born that way, dude. We don't do that.
Yeah, I think people know that it's bad, right? It's not the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also another side to it, right?
Okay.
The reason why it's bragged about in songs is, I think it's known to elicit for certain people. In a song, it's not real. I think it becomes not real when it's heard in the song, and therefore people who listen to the song are able to go, yeah, you fuck Barbara, bro. You go for it. You do it. But in real life, when the guy is like, this dude just fucked my wife, then people have a different response because they're like, oh shit, like that's pretty fucked that happened to you.
But it's like, I think people have different responses. Some people think it's real. Some people think it's not. Some people, when they're saying it, it's real. Some people, when they're saying it, it's not. Right? But if you're broadcasting this thing to tens of millions of people and they hear it in their headphones, I just fucked your bitch. I got all these chains. You know what I'm saying? If they have that looping around in their head, got it. If you have that looping around in your head, then that's we were talking about how our brains work. Like, subconsciously that programs us to normalize that, number one, but then also like that becomes part of the way our brain operates. So that's like super dangerous, especially when there's a cool beat to it and it makes it sound cool. You're more likely to adopt what they're saying. So number one, not cool. Number two, dangerous. Number three, why is this what people want to listen to? Not really sure. Number five or number four, I like the music too.
Same here.
I like the, like when you go like this, and it would probably be better if I had a kind of a vest on.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
Yeah. So if I'm doing that, like, that's
like
cool.
a kind of earring, maybe. I can imagine you.
Dude,
you gotta get the face tattoo going on there.
No. I mean, this is me as a listener.
Oh, this is you as a listener. Okay.
I'm just like this. just imagine a black vest,
Okay.
a puffy vest. Maybe maybe an earring. I don't think I'm gonna do the earrings, but it's cool. But and then they're shoving in this garbage words.
Yeah, I think that's common in every music category. Is going to have songs that have some garbage words in there, thrown in there, right? Just like how there's songs that I think people would think are bad in every category.
Like Bob Marley, though. You know what I'm saying? Garbage? Is he saying garbage?
What song?
Is he saying garbage in any of the songs?
I think a lot of his songs have like some good meaning in there. I mean,
Okay.
then again, like you could try to break it down. Like, I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. I think he's telling a story there. Is the thing.
We know it's fictional, though.
Yeah, we know it's fictional. I guess the difference with someone being like, I just fucked Barbara yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, did you fuck Barbara yesterday? Like, that's a
Yeah,
very reasonable thing to put out there.
Yeah.
That could have happened.
And it does
Or
happen.
maybe, and it does. It does in culture.
Yeah, it's dangerous. And listen, I just want to say my appreciation over here for Life Water. This is my third challenge, and if we, I don't want to say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. These sponsors that we've had thus far haven't been paying us.
No.
But if I'm drinking 3 of these in an episode, I'm like the biggest advocate for water in the entire world. Okay. If you think you're a bigger advocate, leave a comment and let's be friends, okay? But I need to be sponsored by some water company at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll sling some cases. You'll see this on the episode every week if you want. You know what I'm saying?
And listen, Life Water, if you don't sponsor us, I'm putting out a threat here.
Oh my
See
god.
Aquafina? You see this? I've got this in the studio. We could switch over instant. You wouldn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
But you see, I was drinking mine. I'll go back to it. But you got to hit us up, or else slowly the water's gonna start changing out.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
We'll try any brand, and hey, if it's not Life Water, and let's say you're Fiji water or you're like personally, unless it was a really good deal, I wouldn't want to be sponsored by Aquafina
You don't like Aquafina?
or Dasani.
Is it that they don't have the? They
Okay,
don't actually have ingredients on
just
here.
Just put that bottle up next to this one,
Yeah.
like this.
I guess it's well.
This should-
See,
this should
but
all-
it fools you because that's thinner, that's fatter.
Oh, it's not about quantity for me. It's just this doesn't make me feel good when I pick it up. And it's a lot about branding, but listen, if you have a cool water company, or hey, I think the best one would be Just Water. Jaden, I'm gonna cut that out. Jaden, hit me up because dude, we can make some really good moves out here. So and with that being said, I'm gonna be drinking what's gonna eclipse to about 100 ounces on this episode alone in about, let's see how many seconds this has been. Okay, so this will be 100 ounces in less than 1 hour.
Jeez, I don't know how you do it. I'm just trying to keep up with my little little bits of water
Dude.
that I got going.
Keep it up, keep it down. That's what they say.
Keep it up, keep it down. All right, here we go.
1, 2, chug.
Yep, I'm gonna have to take a piss. Yep. Oh.
Man, this is unprecedented, for hardly anyone. I kind of feel like Shoe Nice, except for, all the things that make Shoe Nice. And I think that guy's still alive. He was a pioneer, and I really he's a cool guy. He's if you don't know Shoe Nice, he was the guy who would drink a fifth of hard alcohol. He would eat some condoms. And basically he would just eat anything, which I don't think that's good. But people on the internet liked him, and that's kind of where we're at these days, People like that. People like, I don't know why people like watching other people dance so much, on TikTok and all that stuff. I think it's cool. Just interested on why we're liking that so much. Why does it matter so much? Don't know. Yeah, so I'm about to finish this 100 ounces, and yeah. Again, Life Water, please, or Just Water, any water company that has nice looking bottles. Here's how the sponsorship would work. I get a monthly stipend. You send in, we can reuse the bottles on the episode. I don't need to be replenished with this. I got a good water filter. All this is about getting the water bottles in the studio and to
I'm telling you, it was like monsoon season.
Oh my
in there
God.
for me. I'm telling you,
Dude.
I just couldn't stop peeing. I was standing there, and it just wouldn't stop.
Monsoon season. Yeah, dude. Earlier on, the tsunami came in you, and then you came a tsunami just over there in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You ever see that movie Stuart Little?
Yeah.
He's one of those characters that you really like him, but I think was he a little person?
He was a mouse, right? So, wait, am I wrong? Is he not a mouse? I might not be remembering
he was a little
correctly.
mouse.
Okay, it was a little mouse.
Oh, like he's like the little mouse.
Yeah.
The mascot, the little mouse.
Oh yeah. Huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Little mouse.
Maybe, and we'll cut to a clip. I never heard of a school called, Ellensburg Little Mouse.
Little mouse. I like it. I actually like that. If I had a school, I would make our mascot the most ridiculous thing
Yeah, like
imaginable.
Brettsville
Wallflowers.
Wallflowers. They got South Point human centipedes.
What about Caroline Pussies?
And we're back. So in that, we're talking about the school mascots and all that stuff. So Little Mouse is now the official mascot for the for that school that I mentioned. And I knew a guy named Stuart once.
Did you?
Yeah.
I
But-
mean, you're a Stuart Steele.
I know, but he was one of those, I think he was from England, and you know how they are. And his name was Stuart with a U. Stuart.
Interesting.
And I think Stuart had some behavioral issues. There was another character named James, also in the picture. And around in 4th and 5th grade, James and I, would have kind of verbal sparring matches. And I would call him heavyweight. He would call me featherweight. You know what I'm saying? And what happened? Oh, one time, and James and this other fella, we would hang out, but the whole thing that'd be fun is be like, man, you're a fat boy, and then he'd be like, yo, you're a little dude, man, you're a little dude, what you gonna do? And we would just go and hang out. He had a boat and stuff, and James, I'm sorry about what happened, man, but we going back and forth. Yo, dude, I bet you'd break a scale if you got on that thing over there. And he was like, dude, you and Stuart Little, I can't even tell the difference, man. And so back and forth, and yeah, James and Stuart back there maybe in 2nd grade, they had some behavioral issues. They started to call Miss cunt. But listen here. In high school, there was a guy named Miles, and James and I were causing a ruckus, and it wasn't necessarily, it wasn't me versus James. It was kind of on attack on Miles, a little bit. And Miles was this guy, and he was he had, between 5 and 80%, he was Mexican. Okay. Between 5 and 85, closer to probably closer to 70, but I don't want to
assume.
I don't want to be super offensive or anything. But Miles would walk around in a wife beater tank top, and maybe in 7th or 8th grade he was on the larger side, like having muscles. Not like I was making fun of James in 4th grade. And there was another fellow there. Shout out to Chunks, man. Shout out to Chunks. Listen, and they call that guy Chunks because he had a kind of he kind of had an addiction to cookies.
Like chocolate chunk cookies?
Yeah, you're right on. And so there would be this thing called the Deca store. And that's where you get all your, it's basically a sugar factory for humans going through puberty, man. Sugar factory for puberty and post-puberty, actively sexual, not adults, younger adults. So we're at the Deca store. They got this frozen cookie. Toss it in the oven. It was good. Okay, I got a lot of these cookies. I also ate a lot of Sour Patch berries. You had those berries?
I have had those berries.
All right, so I'm going to be really honest with you guys right now. I ate so many Sour Patch berries that at one time, after I went to the dentist one time, and then there was about 1 year and 9 months where I didn't go to the dentist.
Ooh.
And in that period, that's only missing a couple of visits. 3.
I guess so, yeah.
3.
That's still pretty heavy, though. That's still like a pretty heavy,
and about every other night, I was getting 1 bag of Sour Patch berries.
Ooh.
And I'm not talking about, like that shit you get out of a vending machine. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about one of these.
Oh, the big one.
One of these.
The big boys.
Here. So I would eat those Sour Patch berries, man, and I'd go ballistic. That's just so good. And, maybe if you're maybe under the influence in some way.
Sugar high,
like
right?
Like this or like this, you know what I'm saying? It might even be like just it's an explosion of pleasure, Those things taste good, man.
Oh, yeah?
So the berries, let me say 3 things about them. Number 1, it's hard to find a multi-flavored candy that has no bad flavors. Original Sour Patch and even Starburst, the orange ones taste like shit.
I don't hate the orange ones, but they're definitely the worst in my opinion.
They're just trash. I don't know why they throw in a bad one just so the other ones seem better. But you could go through every candy. Sour Patch Berries, I mean, name a bad berry, man.
No bad
Maybe
berry.
blackberries.
I wouldn't say blackberries. And hey, watch it there. Remember the blacksmith? Hey, you gotta be careful.
You just said blacksmith.
Oh,
but listen, if you have raspberries, RASP berries, now with Z's, fuck them Z's, man. Listen, raspberries and blueberries, and then you have blackberries. I mean, I just gotta say it. Blackberries. Imagine you have those three. It's like the blackberries are like the orange Sour Patch. Or Starburst.
You did not just say that about the blackberries. You did not just say that about the blackberries.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. Everybody out there that's a blackberry. Well, you're kind of a little bit outdated, man. Kind of outdated like the blackberry phone. So, I mean, did they go out of style? Sorry, bro.
Listen, I'll be honest, like, the blueberries, you just can't compete with the blueberries. And the raspberries. Yeah, raspberries. They're good. They're good.
Hey. So anyway, I'm eating all these things. I go into the dentist. Let's make a prediction here. Did I have more or less than 5 cavities?
I think you've told me about this before. Was this the, that was the college days, right?
Yeah, man. If you're asking about my past and there was substance usage, it's my college period.
I mean, but in high school, you know, like,
Dude,
I think everyone
I didn't drink until second semester of my senior year of high school. And one time, I mean, I knew people that were doing it. It just didn't make sense to me. But when I was going in there and I was like hanging out with people that were doing it, I was that daddy. I mean, that triple D, man. Designated driver, daddy. I was whipping around, you know.
Yeah, you were doing the drive.
Well, usually one hand like this, and I was driving in my Ford Escape hybrid, getting those gas miles, man.
Hell yeah!
I mean, getting the absence of those gas miles. I mean, you know what I'm saying. And I was in that Ford Escape hybrid, and sometimes I would even, you know, I would shift into neutral to get extra gas. And
really?
And speaking of candy, one time in a high school, I was at a soccer practice, and the light came on for my vehicle, and I needed to drive about 18 miles. And I had $7 and maybe like 33 cents in cash. And I go down to empty, but I see, oh my God, I see some Zowers, man. You ever had Zowers before?
Yeah, I have.
Zowers are Mike and Ikes that are sour. So fucking good, dude. So
yeah.
I had to buy the Zowers. Maybe I bought 2 packs, and I have about $4.18 left to pay for the gas.
Yeah.
To go drive. So you can tell what kind of I didn't have a lot of funds in that period, but I was going hard on the candy. But anyway, when I go out and I say, you know, we're going to a school dance, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There was this one time where we were at a school dance in middle school, and there was only like 2 chaperones. So there's, you know, these people that are, you know, there's these little boys that are starting to figure out that they got a wiener, and they're figuring out how to use it. Maybe they don't know how to use it. They're figuring out they got a wiener.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like when puberty starts to like kick in to ultra drive, is that stage. Yeah.
So they're walking around, and they all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, my little wiener. You know what I'm saying? And so during that period, there's no chaperones. There's, music, rhythmic, maybe sexually inducing music, and 2 chaperones, and 150 kids. We got some a grind 12-year-olds grinding, 13-year-olds grinding on tables, and I even think this is bad. I think I saw the teacher grinding with one of the students.
Whoa. Damn.
It was consensual, but it can't be at that point. So
see the grinding. I remember that at it was 8th grade given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, around the same time.
Because we didn't have we went to the same like elementary / kind of middle school.
Okay.
But I went into public school at 8th grade, and we didn't have any dances at Arbor, right? So that was my first like dance in a public school setting, because Arbor just didn't do dances. I don't know if I should say the school name or not.
Yeah, we'll bleep it out.
But okay, we'll bleep it out. But yeah, so that happened at the my middle school dance as well. However, there were a lot of chaperones, and they'd get pissed. They got mad. Yeah. So it was like, it was weird because like the music too is sexually inducing. And then when that starts to happen, the chaperones are like, why is this happening? And it's like, because you put on a freaking Miley Cyrus song.
Sure,
what do you mean?
Yeah, dude.
What do you mean, why is this happening?
100%. Yeah, that's just crazy, man. And so, that teacher, he didn't get in trouble. I didn't even know that was wrong at that point. I was 12. And, I seen that, and where was I going with this? Oh, after one of those dances, maybe a couple years later, when I got my license, I had 11 humans in my Ford Escape Hybrid.
Dang.
It's rated for 5. 4 in the trunk, 4 in the back, 2 in the passenger seat, and I'm in there. And one time, I was driving around a roundabout on the wrong way with 11 people in my car. And then, and a couple months later, I started drinking stuff. But anyway, I went to the dentist, and his name was Danny something. I forget. And he said, you got a lot of cavities, man.
Damn.
I was like, shit, man. And he was like, well, the good news is you probably don't have like 17, man. It's more probably closer to like 12. But that was before he did the x-rays. And so he did the x-rays, and he was like, I bet it was awkward for him, because he knew he told me. He's like, probably you only got a 12, man. And he was like, well, you got 19. But we're only gonna, you got 19, but we're only gonna operate on 18 of them.
Wait, why did they're just gonna leave one?
Well, there's one of them that's kind of like, it's looking like it might turn into one, but it's not one. I don't really know how it works. But anyway, I had 19 of those suckers, and I'm from the Sour Patch Berries, so watch out, man. Could be dangerous.
Yeah. Anything can be dangerous. If not moderated.
Yeah. NASCAR.
Dangerous. Watch too much of that, your eyes.
Or you just you end up crashing the car.
Yeah. Or you start talking like this. Sorry, I didn't want to. Yeah. I'm not going to be offensive there.
So
it was just a joke. It was just a joke.
See, this is the thing, like, if you're Korean, can you make fun of Korean people? And like most people in the South maybe also be white. So like, can we make fun of them?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. But
I always felt like, is that a different like culture? Like to a point where we can say.
But I don't know if the rules care about culture, because like a Korean American person could still make fun of regular Korean people.
Yeah. The rules on that are really interesting. I mean, personally, I wouldn't care if somebody who had a southern drawl made fun of what they think I sound like, right? Or if a Canadian person made fun of me, honestly, I wouldn't care if anybody made fun of the way I talk. But then again, it's coming from a different place because race completely changes the game, right?
Yeah, but why?
And
like, to me, it's more about culture than race, but like, race is a big deal, and I get what you're saying, but like, at a higher level, why is it about race? And like, it's about like, it's also turning into just about class, and it's talking about financial disparity. So like, usually if I'm thinking about the South, they may not be as financially wealthy, and then like, it's okay to talk about somebody in the same class as you and the same race, but if you are at a different level, either way, like, I don't really know how that works.
It's weird because it seems like though, like you start talking in like a Russian accent, it's okay. Italian is okay. French is okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
English, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I guess it seems very focused around race, because it's like, if it's somebody who's white, which is generally the European area,
Okay.
or you go into Russia,
Okay.
it's like, okay, that's acceptable because there's been no racism surrounding those cultures or those races. There's been no racism around that. But then if someone goes and tries to do a Chinese one or a Korean one,
Chinese,
or
Japanese, Korean,
African American,
well, or just African,
yeah, then it becomes offensive because there's racism surrounding it, and therefore you could not just be doing an impersonation, but rather you could be directly making fun of somebody, which is the difference. And it's sad that
that's
it has
tough,
to
man. But
be,
what about like, do you think it's easier to make fun of or to do a Mexican accent than like an African accent?
I think it depends on, there's many different dialects. I think like, I know that I can do like a Waganda kind of, like, you know, just because like, you know, the memes and everything.
Sure.
I always like, I always like, whenever like people are debate on topics of like, can I do this impersonation or can I not do this, or what's going to be offensive, I always like, I don't know how to chime in those situations because I understand both sides very well. I'm like, I don't want anybody to be offended. I also like understand that like I love like, you know, like edgy comedy that pushes the edge, or like impersonations and people having fun. It's like, for me, it's difficult to choose a side or even be like hard for one side or the other. Be like, this is what I think, because it's such a tricky topic.
It's difficult to be hard for one side or the other. You heard it here first. Thanks for watching Not Your Cousin's Podcast. Here's episode 6. We would like to be sponsored by any water company, Life Water. We will accept you. You can follow me on Instagram at jake.ss. You can look at my website for recording, mixing, and mastering, thegroverecording.com. I also have a solo podcast, which you can find currently on my Instagram or on my YouTube channel. It is called Insight with Jake Stewart Steele. Thank you guys so much for listening. Tune in for more.
Find me at Steel Strings on SoundCloud and YouTube. And?
Well, what? Don't.
Oh, yeah, and don't follow me on Facebook. Don't do it. Don't send me a friend request. I don't want it. It's for friends, family only. Your friends, but I don't know you. I've never seen you in real life. So just don't, please.
Yeah, and go follow Not Your Friends Podcast on Instagram. We put out clips, and we also put out sections of the full episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
I'd say that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so.